Hey everybody, this is Niall and Alex, except Alex is out with a friend tonight. She did want to go see this movie tonight though. This is the Drive Home Movie Reviews. And I just saw Anaconda 2025 with Jack Black, Paul Rudd, and that girl from Westworld, and Steve Zahn. I don't usually go see these type of movies like Jumanji and Riverboat and all those big ticket movies that come out that like capitalize on old things or reboots. They all seem so like cheesy to me and so predictable, cookie cutter. For some reason, I felt compelled to go see this one. Maybe it's because when I saw that original Anaconda from 1997 with Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez and John Voight, as a kid, that movie scared me. I remember watching that in my parents' basement. They put it on. It was one of the first scary movies I ever watched, and I've been scared of anacondas ever since. Probably a healthy fear. But gotta say, I had fun. I thought that was a good movie. Maybe I've been wrong about not seeing these big ticket box office movies. The movie is about Jack Black, who is like a mediocre filmmaker, Paul Rudd, who's trying to make it in Hollywood and just is not successful, and they're friends, and they all come together because they had made this movie when they were younger with hopes of someday becoming big movie stars. And now the opportunity has presented itself where they have the rights to Anaconda, and they want to reboot 1997's Anaconda. So they go out and they actually go into the Amazon to shoot this thing gritty style. Hijinks ensue. The first half of the movie, I was laughing out loud. I went to the movie by myself, so I'm just that crazy dude in there laughing by myself. But I was not the only person laughing. There was quite a few people, especially in that first half of the movie, that were just cracking up. There was one guy next to me that was like dying. Like he was doing the laughter where you like have to pause, like ha ha. He did later walk by his seat and saw he had a bunch of empty little single shooters, so that might have been part of that. But great movie. I liked it a lot more than I thought. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 57 or 58%. I would give this movie 65. That is much higher than I thought I was going to give it. There was elements, like the comedy itself is kind of what sold me. It wasn't just your like predictable cookie cutter Hollywood humor, and it's so carefully planted jokes and punchlines. Kind of felt like elements, I think Paul Rudd probably brought that into it, but elements of like him and Eric, or like segments where it was just like, okay, here's this little skit. And it was like, well, why is this skit even part of the movie? This is totally unnecessary. But there's a scene in the middle of them getting chased down by this giant anaconda snake where Steve Zahn's character has to learn to pee in public. I don't know. It was so funny. Even thinking about it now, it's making me laugh. I do love Steve Zahn. I don't know what happened to him. I think it sticks out to me as the type of guy that probably just stepped away from Hollywood for a while because he wanted to. Anything I see him in, he is funny. We watched that Song Sung Blue the other night, and it reminded me of him because of his movie with Jack Black, where he was the Neil Diamond impersonator, Saving Silverman. This character in this movie, he was the funniest part. I think he was the funniest part. There were a few jokes he had that he just cracks me up. So in the middle of this movie, in the midst of trying to shoot this movie, they rent a snake, and then the snake gets killed. All of this is in the trailer. And they have to go find a real snake, and they do find this real snake, and it's like a massive snake. I have not seen any of the other Anaconda movies, but I don't remember it being this big. This thing is like a monster, like Godzilla size snake. I was looking into the other Anaconda movies that came after the original. I think I did see Anacondas, but I think that was where I was like, okay, I'm done with this. But they have made a ton of movies in the Anaconda franchise. Looking for something fun to go watch and just laugh about. Say, it's probably the funniest movie in theaters right now. There is a mid-credit scene. And I looked online, it said there was a post-credit scene, but there was not at the theater I stayed at. I was the last person in there, and movie ended, screen shut, and the worker seemed to be giving me the looks like, why are you here, buddy? Especially when I was there by myself. But yeah, good movie. I'm glad I saw it. So that's the review. Toodaloo.
Retake this PG-13.
That's the review. Toodaloo. And as Alex would say, I love you. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. Any know my